What's up, everybody? This is Derek with Team Evolution Rush of IKORR, and today I am coming to you with a very fun and exciting deck profile that I am super pumped to show you guys. It's one I've been working on pretty hard lately, and I'm glad to finally have a build that I feel pretty confident in showing everybody. So real quick, before I get into the deck profile, I just want to thank anybody and everybody who watches our videos. Of course, we are always trying to do content for Rush of IKORR. We got more deck profiles that we're still working on. Obviously, we have plenty of other videos where we want to discuss more about the game, the sets, you know, just kind of where every avatar stands right now. We have a lot of ideas for decks, or sorry, for videos, but they are coming. They are on the way. Now that the holidays have slowed down and gone past, we can kind of start working a little bit more on those videos. But for today, we are going to be looking at Poseidon, the Titanic Trident avatar. Green and blue, baby, is what I am excited to show you guys. Green and blue is a color combination that in set 1 just didn't happen, right? Green was pretty weak in set 1. And the avatars that we had in set 1 just weren't as powerful. You know, if you were gonna play any of the other colors, attaching green to it with certain avatars just wasn't strong enough. There were just better avatars and better cards to play. But set 2 introduced a ton of really powerful blue cards and a ton of very powerful green cards. And we got this super sick avatar that makes everything kind of glue together. So that's what we're doing. Now, a couple things about this particular list I'm gonna show you guys. It is kind of very different than what you would probably anticipate, because with blue decks, it's very easy to just say, hey, I'm gonna make a pyramid deck, or I'm gonna make some type of deck based off of locations and kind of roll with it that way. Because obviously some of the blue decks that we've done, that's kind of what you're doing, right? Now, don't get me wrong, there is a copy of Great Pyramid in this deck, but it is not the main concept or idea of what we're going for with this deck, okay? If anything, Great Pyramid is more of a tech option in this deck than what you're actually trying to do. So this version of the deck is more of an aggro deck. It is more of an aggro stun deck that kind of is, you know, could counter Hunapu, I think, in a lot of ways, which, by the way, Hunapu, we're working on an upgraded version of that deck. It is still just as powerful, if not more powerful than set 1, but we'll get into that another day. But this deck, I think, can definitely rival that. So that's why I'm excited to show you this list, okay? Last thing, before I start getting into the cards, I do make these deck profiles competitive by nature, okay? So a lot of the people, or a lot of you guys out there that don't have maybe some of the cards or some of the infusions that are on some of these cards, I understand that they're not easy to get, right? Fortunately, with infusions, they are super flexible and you can pretty much do whatever you want to do. And we'll talk about that, because I do have a lot of really good infusions on a lot of these cards. But there's also, again, a lot of other options that you do have, you know, open for you. So with that long 3-minute intro, let's get into the deck profile for Poseidon. So first, I want to show you guys, if you haven't seen it, those promo packs that they sent out to stores have some pretty sweet full art promos. And I was lucky enough to pull this out of one of mine, which I was super happy about, because I didn't get a foil or facture version in my boxes. And yeah, I was very surprised when I saw this as one of them. So you can get this as one of those cards. It looks beautiful. I love it. So Poseidon's ability is you pay 2 to draw the bottom card of your deck. It's just basically pay 2 to draw a card from your deck. There are cards that can kind of function with the bottom cards, but it's not anything super, like, there's not anything really in this deck that does that, at least in this version. And then its rush ability is to put all champions with an attack of 3 or less on the bottom of their owner's decks. You have a board wipe that you will be able to utilize to some degree, and can be a blowout ability in some cases. So very strong rush ability, very good standard just avatar. It's just great. And then, you know, it's attached to 2 colors where we can finally do something with it. So I love it. So getting right into the profile. Now, again, I mentioned that this is a aggro deck. What I'm actually calling this deck is Poseidon's Egyptian Army, because that is exactly what it is, and you'll see why. So to start it off, we have 2 light infantries, both of them with Curious Relic. Now, you will notice I have a lot of Egyptians in the deck. We have a lot of warriors and Egyptian warriors in the deck, and a few other just tech things that we'll talk about. But everything is pretty low costed for the most part, and we're trying to just draw a lot of cards, flood the board, stun the opponent, and win the game. Pretty easy, okay? So light infantry is our first 1-drop. We have Curious Relic on this one. I felt like out of all the 1-drops that we have, Curious Relic is good because it helps us kind of hand fix to draw a good 2-drop. So, it's very simple and very easy. Now, you could definitely argue, maybe you only need one of these with Curious Relic. Maybe you want to put something else on this one. It doesn't matter. But for now, I have Curious Relic on both of these. For the other another one drop, I'm sorry, we have Serapard. And yes, you are seeing this correctly. I will show it to you guys. We also have Serapard as a full art option in those promo packs as well, which is fantastic. Had a couple of those pulled as well from our local store. So, Serapard is an incredibly flexible card. Okay. Now, right now, as you can tell, I have Kusanagi on here, which stuns something, and I have Siren's Voice, which, when an opposing champion strikes this champion, stun that champion. Now, don't forget, when this attacks, champions strike each other. So, in a way, when this attacks, it is still going to stun the card that strikes it. So, keep that in mind. But also bear in mind that if your opponent attacks it on their turn, the stun kind of doesn't really matter, because on your opponent's next turn, it's just going to be unstunned anyways. But it's just another great option for stunning because it has Swift. So that's what I decided to do. I decided to stick 2 stun options on 2 1-cost champions that can attack immediately, because it gives us control. It gives us some stun ability, which is very, very nice. But again, there's so many things you can do with these, right? You can stick the new No Pesh on it and give it +2 attack, so it's a 1/3/1 with Swift. You can stick Contemplate Impermanence on it. I mean, you can stick anything on this card. And because it has Swift, it makes it incredibly flexible. So we are playing 2 of those with some stun options. Next, we're playing 2 Shurden Mercenaries. Another good 1-drop that came out of set 2, right? They're Egyptian human warriors, which is perfect. They're 1/2/1s. One of them has the Heka on it. That way it makes our other Egyptians cost 1 less. And the other one has Ruler's Decree, so that other champions you control that are the same Egyptian, basically, get more IKORR, more rating. So pretty standard, pretty simple. The next 1-drop in the deck, we're playing 2 Mirror Bearers. Now, why Mirror Bearer? Well, there's a card we'll get into here in a second as to why we're playing these. So you'll see 2 very powerful infusions attached to these cards. One of them being the new Bronze Sword, which allied warriors of your get either +2 attack or +1 raid. So I'm trying to read this upside down. Get +2 attack or +1 raid until the end of its turn. Okay, so it's very, very good. So the reason that the Bronze Sword is on this card is because it is a Maya that we can kind of utilize with another card that we have in the deck. The additional ability to foresee 1 is also kind of nice. I mean, it's not like a crazy thing, but it's there. You can stick a bunch of things to this. You don't have to even play this in the deck, but I like it because it's a Maya that foresees 1, so it gives us some utility. Even though it's not a warrior, it's okay. There's actually not really a lot of 1-drop warriors that we can utilize, at least within this color combination. But this still gets the job done. And then Eye of Ra is obviously the other one. Now, if you are playing somewhere where there's a bunch of location decks, maybe you throw Poseidon's Trident on it instead. That way you have some location removal. But again, there are a reason that I have some powerful infusions attached to stuff that is not an Egyptian, okay? So there's those. Honorary 1-drops, by the way. We are playing 2 copies of the Accomplished Architect with the Blessing of Izanagi. This champion costs 1 less to summon if you control 1 or fewer champions. So this is a kind of a similar idea to our blue-purple deck, where we can play this on turn 1 to search for one of the 2 locations that we are playing in the deck. Pretty straightforward. And another honorary 1-drop is Nereid with the Curse of the Kami. So this champion costs 1 less to summon. That's it. It just stuns itself when it's summoned. But this does something for the deck that is incredibly valuable when it comes to draw power. So if you play this going first, it makes our Poseidon's ability cost 0, because this says as long as this champion shares a loyalty with an avatar you control, that avatar power costs 2 less to activate, and that is just a static ability. So you play this, it stuns itself on turn 1, you draw a card, it replaces itself. Your opponent most likely won't be able to do anything to it. Maybe they do, depending on the deck, but probably won't, which means when you start your second turn, you can immediately draw another card, so it's a +1. And then if you start playing other cards to where your opponent can't really deal with this, this could ultimately end up drawing you a ton of cards, which is kind of why we're utilizing it. I've gone back and forth with this on some other champions, like the Infusion. And you could play this on turn 2, but we have a lot of other 2-drop cards that we kind of would rather play. So this just ends up being really valuable as a turn 1 play, even if you're going second. Being able to just kind of cycle through, even if you're just drawing the bottom card of your deck, who cares? You're drawing a card, that's all that matters. But this can be a fantastic draw engine, early draw engine for this deck. And that is it for the 1-drops. And again, these are honorary 1-drops. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There are 12 1-drops in the deck, which is fine. All right, next up is the card that I am referencing with everything that is not Egyptian, and that is Shah, okay, with Shroud of Yomi. So Shah's ability is that you may return a target non-Egyptian champion from your graveyard to your hand. And then the Shroud of Yomi, if this is in your graveyard, you can pay 2 to return this card from your graveyard to your hand. So this card creates kind of like an infinite loop cycle, being able to get cards. So the sole purpose of this card is basically to just recycle some of these cards that are not Egyptians, but that have very powerful abilities and infusions on them, right? So at any time, I can get this card back, then play it, and get back, say, these, right? Or just some of the other cards that are non-Egyptian in the deck. So we only need 1, but I feel like that once this ends up in the graveyard, it can just become this elongated, like, recycling card, which is really strong. So that's why I have certain cards that are not Egyptians with certain infusions. Okay, for the other 2-drops, we are playing 2 Set Warriors. Now this one's super flexible. I do have IKORR on them. Its ability does not matter for this deck whatsoever. It just changes its loyalty, but is a 2/3/2 Egyptian warrior with Swift. This could have a bunch of stuff. You could put Mystic Ankh on this to make it a 3/4. You could put the Sumptuous Cacao on it if you really want to. You could put the card that gives it +2 attack, so it's a 5/2. There's so many cards. You can put Experience on it, so it's a 2/3/2 that rage for 2. There's literally so much you can do. Right now, I have Swift on it, just something that I can kind of utilize, but do what you want. You know, again, you have like the bronze card, the bronze infusion that could give this +2 attack and make it make a 5 attack immediately or something. I don't know, it's just super flexible. But this is what I have on it for the moment is Swift. That way, depending on what I'm up against, I have a turn 2 play that can kind of help me deal with some early board action. We have 2 Tall Warriors. Now this is what I decided to put the Sumptuous Cacao on. It's a 2/2/2 that rage for 1, so it's a 2/3/3 that rage for 2 with the Sumptuous Cacao. And then its ability is that when you raid, if you've casted a spell or summoned another warrior this turn, store 1 IKORR on this champion. So in theory, this can be a raid for 3, which is really nice because we have lots of warriors. Again, there's tons of warriors you could stick Sumptuous Cacao on, but I wanted an early board one that was kind of a 2-drop that like just felt really good on a board presence scale. And that's where this fit the bill. All right, now I have 2 Master Brewers. Now this one is definitely a personal preference card. This card could be definitely a lot of other things, but because I wanted a lot of stun in the deck, that's why I went with this card. So this card stuns itself in another champion. It's a turn 2 play, which is really nice. So if you go first and you play, say like the Nereid to draw a card, and then you play this to stun whatever your opponent puts on the board, you're just going to keep drawing more cards off that Nereid, which is very good. Plus, once this finally dies, you get to draw another card, so it replaces itself. So it's just a very good card. It's an Egyptian, not a warrior, but it's great for the control aspect of what we're trying to go with. Okay, and now the Pharaonic Guard. We are playing the Dock in this deck because obviously we're playing the Accomplished Architect to help us get it. But that was kind of one of the ideas I had with this deck was, hey, if I really need to, I can obviously get this on board with Mystic Ankh having +2 health with the Dock and protect all my Egyptians. So I can go aggro with some protection, which feels really good. Now, one thing that I did want to try in this deck, but it kind of requires you to do some different things with the infusions, is instead of putting the Curse of the Kami on this, you put Curse of the Kami on this. So you can go turn 1, play Architect. If you curve into this, so Architect, search Dock. Turn 2, you would play this with the Curse of the Kami. And then turn 3, you play the Dock. And assuming this is still alive, then by turn 3, because you already got this on the board first, then you can technically have like your combo or your lock as early as turn 3. The only reason I don't have it like that right now is because I feel like, having to rely on that curve efficiently kind of feels a little imbalanced. So I went with this instead, and I think it's fine. Playing this with 2 extra health is huge, and there's probably maybe there's just other things you'd rather be doing on turn 1 and 2, but relying on just that one curve is a little but it's something to try if you want to try it because it does get you there. But yeah, I think Mystic Ankh on this is still fine. If you get the dock on board and then you have this as a 3/6, or sorry, a 2/6, is really powerful. So, and of course it's a warrior. You can also put Sumptuous Cacao on that. I thought about doing that too to make it a 3/5, but I just put the Ankh on there because the extra health I think matters. Ooh, one of my new favorite cards from the second set. Oh my gosh, this card is so great. It is Medjay, okay? So this card says, on summon, stun target champion and remove up to 2 IKORR from it. It's a 3/2 that rage for 1 and it has 3 pips, which is crazy. So let's forget about the reanimate one for a moment, but I put the other Shroud of Yomi on this copy because I figure because this card can just always come out and stun something, if this is in your grave, you can just pay 2 to add it back and then play it again, and just do it again, do it again, do it again, to just constantly stun things, which is really good. The reanimate's kind of the same thing, right? If I play this and it dies at the end of the turn, it can come back out, stun something else, whatever. Now, obviously, if you do not have Enduring Spirit, you can do whatever you want on Medjay. You can put Poseidon's Trident, you can put Cacao on it, you can do whatever you want with this card, which is fantastic. So not only does it stun and remove IKORR, but it is super flexible with infusions, which is insane. So get creative with it if you don't have, you know, some of the other ultra rare infusions, but very, very, very powerful and fun card. Card's actually very strong for only being a 3 cost. One of my other favorite cards from the set is Siren, and yes, this is also one of the promos that you can get. So I'll show you the gorgeous borderless full art of this one as well. It looks insane. This is one of my favorite ones. This card is also ridiculously powerful, especially in this deck. It is a 3/1/5, and it's a Greek, so we can add it back with the Shah. And it says opposing champions must attack a champion named Siren if able, and when an opposing champion strikes this champion, stun it. Incredible. Very good for combating the purple guy, the Toyotomi, because if your Toyotomi has to attack this first, well, first of all, he's not going to kill it, and second of all, it's going to stun it. So anything with Fury is just kind of locked for the rest of the turn, which is awesome. So it's only a 1 pip, so we have the Tressus of Nephthys on this one, which, you know, this has to be attacked, and so when it dies, you're just going to end up getting something back. And then this one has Hermes Lyre, so when you play it, not only is it protecting everything, but it also pumps everything for the turn, which is fantastic. They're both Greeks, so we can get both of them back with Shah, well, the same card, obviously. So very, very, very potent card. It's a very good card for just 3. And then, of course, the Swift Messenger. One of them was Scroll of Curses, and the other one with Tempest and Noddle. The Scroll of Curses, again, while you could stick Scroll of Curses on, say, the Seerpard, this is a Maya, so I can get it back with the Shah if I want to later in the game. Tempest and Noddle basically makes this a 2 cost 2/2 that draws 2 because it refreshes 1 off of its own abilities, so that's why I felt like that was pretty useful. But it's draw power, it's stun, it's attacking, it's just a very well-rounded card for this deck. And then again, I can always get it back with Shah if I need to. And then the last infusion-based card is 1 copy of Bard. The only reason that I have this in the deck is because I finally have a copy of Jade Funerary Mask. And if you play this, not only is it going to boost all of your IKORR on your champions for the turn, but this entire stack of champions, Jade Funerary Mask, will get back for you when this dies. And guess what? This is a Greek, which means that at any point in time, we can get it back with our Shah. So very good, very versatile. There's other 4-drops you can play. There's the Unrelenting Taskmaster that you could play too, but it's an Egyptian. I preferred this. It just felt better, especially since I'm trying to go aggro. So this just felt really good. And that is it for all of the infusion-based champions. It's like 27 of them. There's quite a bit of them. The other champions that we're playing, 1 Imhotep. This is just to protect our dock and our pyramid. 1 Ohiri. Obviously works very well with warriors. They can attack and raid the same turn, and then when it's played, you can target a champion you control, and the next time that champion would take damage, it is prevented, so that can be useful, but we're mostly using it to raid and attack simultaneously. It's just a good balanced warrior card. Japanese as well, so if we need to, we can again get this back from our Shah. And then we are testing a copy of the new Amaterasu. Now this is a very flexible card. This could be a bunch of other different cards, but the reason I'm playing this one, it heals 1 from all of our damaged champions, and then each card that gets healed gets an additional IKORR for the turn. It's a 4/6 body that rage for 2. I wanted to test this card, and it feels like it could be pretty useful depending on the scenario if some of our cards have taken a lot of damage. So I like it. I was trying Thusa and Charybdis and stuff like that, but I didn't really like all of those cards, so I just took those out and played those instead. So that's it for the champions. It is 31 champions, I believe. It's quite a bit. The dock and the pyramid So Dock is to combo off, obviously, with all of our Egyptians and our Pharaonic Guardian. The Pyramid is there because we have access to it, and it's an aggro deck that, hey, if all else fails, we can throw Pyramid on the board, scoop up some IKORR, and try and get that extra bit of IKORR to win the game. So we may as well play the card. And then the spells is pretty simple. It is 2 Cultivating Theorist, 1 Twilight, should be 2, but I'm sticking with 1, 2 Overindulgence, and 2 copies of Poseidon's Wrath. I was playing Typhoon, but I took Typhoon out because Typhoon sometimes just isn't that great. I think these cards are way better. I was playing Theusa as well, but playing Theusa on turn 5 and having to rely on one of these on turn 6 just felt kind of weird, and as an aggro deck, I didn't really think I needed that. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And none of the Japanese spells really feel good enough, so I just didn't play any. There are a lot of other, I said Japanese, I'm sorry, just green in general, the green spells in general. There are a lot of other cards that you could play in this deck. Believe me, I have gone through the card pool a lot with this deck. But this is what I have settled on, and I think it runs very smoothly, feels very consistent. You're stunning constantly. You're getting things back from the graveyard all the time. It has fantastic draw power. You have board wipes attached to it. It feels like a very, very powerful deck, and so far it's been good. So I really like it. Couple things, again, the infusions, you can kind of just do what you want. You have so much flexibility. There are a lot of other warriors and a lot of other cards I don't have in here that you can play. You know, you can play Swift Cavalry, you can play the Taskmaster, you can play Devoted Militia, you can play some of the other 2 and 3 drop Egyptians, Temple Guard. I mean, there's so many options that you have with this deck, which is what makes it really fun. It's just kind of wide open, but I think going this direction kind of works with this specific color combination. And yeah, I would love to see you guys try it out. So that is my Poseidon deck, a little bit of a longer profile, but I was really pumped for this and I just wanted to get it out there. So let me know what you think of the profile, and yeah, if you guys have any questions, or you know, maybe recommend the avatar you want us to do next. You know, if you have an avatar that you want to see a deck build of, we are working on a few other ones, let me know. And don't forget to give me a like and a subscribe. We got more videos coming soon, especially some gameplay videos. That's going to be the next thing. We're going to do some gameplay videos with some of the newer avatars, so keep watch for that as well. And with that being said, Team Evolution out.